Welcome.
Is mine on? Oh, it is. Okay.
Welcome to Tracy and Gracie Becoming. This is our new podcast that we decided to create to connect with other mothers and daughters, other entrepreneurs, other people who really want to kind of embrace that journey of becoming. So many people, including ourselves, have looked at life and all of our goals and all of our challenges as kind of this journey with a finish line. And we kind of wait with anticipation of that moment when we finally cross that finish line. And when we're in that frame of mind, we kind of lose sight of, the moment by moment, I don't know, advantages or gifts or opportunities. And so, we're always in this state of becoming. And Gracie and I kind of talked about how there's so many things that we're looking forward to becoming. And we need to be reminded on the daily of enjoying those moments. And so each one of these episodes is going to be titled something different that we are in
Becoming.
the process of becoming. And so we're just going to share that with you. So I'm Tracy.
And I'm Gracie.
I'm 50 and you are
22, going on 23, and not experienced in podcasting. So these first couple episodes are going to be a little rough around the edges for us.
We're trying to not become like the Hot Mess Express, but it might kind of look like that.
We've been the Hot Mess Express this morning, so we're trying to ease into something else for the day.
Yeah. But the point is that we're going to have, I would say, pretty radical on most topics. Some topics we're going to have varying perspectives, and we thought that might be kind of interesting. So to give you a little bit more background, Gracie just graduated from college 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, probably just about.
Yeah, and decided to come work for my business, which is called Self Made You. It's a coaching company where we help people, we teach and coach people to think differently so that they feel differently in the pursuit of whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish, and to really change the way they think about that pursuit. A lot of people talk about that pursuit of happiness, and they're thinking about it as a finish line. And I really want to help people better understand that happiness is available to you right now. So along those lines, like I said, Gracie and I have to be reminded of that as we are in pursuit, moment by moment, for whatever the flavor of the day is. So every week, we are going to share our experience in becoming something different. This week, we thought it would be very appropriate to share with you our journey of becoming podcasters.
Yeah.
So far, so good. Well, if you're listening to this, we actually got one up on the air. So
yeah. And if you're watching this, just don't mind any of our setup yet. Yeah. We are still figuring this out. So
yeah, don't judge.
Yeah, it's funny because when I was thinking about it, like when I watch podcast videos, like everybody looks so put together and looks nice. And obviously you want to look nice anytime you're on camera, but that's just not going to be me. And I think I have to accept that. Like, I think that I will probably be in a sweatshirt and hoodie 90% of the time that we are filming these podcasts. And I think that's fine.
Yeah, but give me a break. Yeah. She'll be in a sweatshirt and hoodie with her hair up in a ponytail looking like a freaking supermodel. And mom over here will truly be the hot mess.
No.
Anyways, you'll get to hear our dogs barking.
Oh, yes. We should talk about that. Our little wiener dogs and our big hound dog, Bigsby's our hound dog, and he's how old?
4.
4. And he's in the house probably what, 60% of the time?
Probably, yeah, about that.
Yeah. And then our weens, they're in the house 100% of the time.
Right.
And they are just, what a catch. They're great. But you're going to hear them probably in almost every single episode because
they're vocal.
They're very vocal. They're very, very vocal.
Yeah.
About everything.
Gracie's ween, his name is Meatball.
Mm-hmm.
He is exactly she's had him for exactly 1 year. My ween, and Gracie's is a long-haired miniature Dachshund, and my ween is a short-haired, supposedly miniature Dachshund. He's
a little. Tell him why it's supposedly.
He's a little on the chunky side, so we're not sure if miniature is an appropriate title.
We're also not totally sure that he's actually a miniature.
Yeah.
She found him at a
swap meet.
A swap meet
in Arizona. Maybe we could put that video up on.
Maybe we should. I got mine from a breeder. I did it right, and my mom fell in love with Meatball. I was in Italy last January for the entire month, so Grandma and Grandpa got to watch Meatball for an entire month, and she fell in love. And when we got home, my mom was crying not that I was home and that she was excited to see me. She was crying that Meatball was going to be leaving her. So she decided that she might as well just get her own against my dad's will.
Yeah. And I would say that there is one, I guess, opinion that we could talk about. Like, she's saying she did it right because she went through a breeder. I really like going through rescues.
Whatever. She found the first one that she could find.
No, that's not true.
It is true. The first one that was accessible to her. She had been
happened to be a rescue. So I'm not sure I would say you did it right.
Okay.
I guess we'll just leave that for other people to decide. Okay. What else? Should we talk about podcasts? Maybe that should have been episode 2 that we talked about the podcast, since we're still trying to figure this out.
Yeah. I mean, I planned this out a little bit about what we were going to talk about, and she kind of blew through all of it right at the beginning. So,
Well, one of the things that the reason why we picked the title, Tracy and Gracie Becoming, is because I think so many people kind of downplay the fact that when they're actually doing something, they are in the state of becoming. And so a lot of my clients, they're becoming the person who thinks differently. They're becoming the person that has confidence, in sales, or they're becoming the person who makes a decision ahead of time when it comes to creating food protocols, right? Well, we're becoming podcasters. I remember when
This week,
yes. I remember when I took up running, and I would have never dreamt of me being a runner. I did some 5Ks, but I would literally claw my way through it. It was such a grind. It was never enjoyable, but I really desperately wanted to think of myself as a runner. And I would almost be embarrassed, when I would be in our neighborhood running and neighbors would pass and wave. And what would be going through my head is, they're probably feeling sorry for me because I'm running so slow. And I kept thinking, when am I going to become a runner? And it finally dawned on me. It's like, you become a runner when you believe that you're becoming a runner. You're out there doing what runners do. I think anybody could, probably wouldn't argue with me that I was a runner at that point. So we are becoming podcasters. It might be a little bit of a bumpy road, but I kind of think of it like that, right? So
yeah, I'd agree. I feel like, it's with anything in life. Anything that you are wanting to become, it's not just you just pick it up and you are that thing. It's it's a journey with anything in life. So,
And it's a state of mind.
and it's a state of mind. So, yeah, this is going to be quite the journey for us becoming podcasters together, but it's going to be a good one. Do you want to talk about your goals for this podcast?
My goals.
That probably sounded good in the mic.
Well, I would say consistency is going to be a goal. I think really being transparent, genuine, authentic about what it is that we're choosing to share. I think it's easy to kind of filter or edit what it is that we want to share with the outside world. And I'm going to really make it my goal to be a little bit raw and transparent, because I do know
like
that really does help people. So I would say that's one of my goals, alongside of really consistently doing this, because this is something that, it's fun, it's creative, and it would be easy to just say, we'll skip this week. So consistency is going to be one of my goals. How about you?
Yeah, I like both of those. I think that being as unfiltered and relatable as possible is going to be key here, because it's easy to want to filter what you're saying and your thoughts based off of what you think other people are going to like, but that's not us. That would not be authentic to us. And so I think that is definitely going to be a goal, and I guess a challenge, because in society, that's kind of what you do sometimes, depending on what your circumstance is. Sometimes you might tend to filter your thoughts or bite your tongue on something that maybe you shouldn't, or you think you shouldn't be saying. So I think that's a really good goal for us, is to just be as unfiltered and authentic as we possibly can, because I think it's going to be a more enjoyable process for the both of us, and give us that experience in doing that in real life as well. And I think for whoever is listening might appreciate that. I also think that my goal for this is to track our progress and the processes that we're going through, because we're a small business. There's so much growth that is coming, and
it's the start of something new and exciting.
It's the start of something new and exciting.
That's my belief that I'm working on right now. My business is 3 years old, and it really has taken like a huge turn with the addition of bringing Gracie on board. It's a turn for the better for sure. And I am genuinely excited, and I know I expect it to look very new, and I'm totally willing, to feel all the feels. It is of course a little nerve-wracking, but the thought that I kind of check in on every day now is that this is the start of something new and exciting, and this podcast is part of that.
Yeah, it definitely is. We were at a conference in Austin, Texas last week, and I'd say before that we had a very structured way of how we thought this was going to go. We were kind of stuck. And so this conference was so good for us, because I feel like it gave us all of these great new ideas, including this podcast, and just other things that we should be trying and implementing that you maybe hadn't before, or maybe you had and it didn't go as planned and nothing ever came of it, so we stopped it and didn't try again. So so this podcast is not only a way to check in on our progress, but to just keep us moving forward. I mean, one of the best things that I took away from that conference was one of the keynotes, Brendan Bouchard. He said, just stay in motion. That's all you have to do, is stay in motion. If you are doubting yourself, if you are feeling embarrassed, or whatever the case may be, you are not in motion. You are not working continuously towards your goals. And that is so big. I think that will stick with me forever. I literally have written it on my notes every single day since I heard it, because it just is so simple, and it's just stay in motion. Like you can fail, and that's totally fine. That's totally part of the process, and it doesn't matter if you're failing as long as you keep going. And we learn from our failures. So there's something to be said for us getting on this podcast, even though it's kind of a wreck right now, which is okay. We're gonna get there. Maybe in a year from now, this is going to be the best podcast ever. Or maybe literally nobody is going to listen to this. And that's okay too, because again, I think one of those main goals is going to be tracking our progress in this. And this is going to be a great and fun tool to do that. So
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think being at that conference, it was really cool as, a business owner and a mom and an entrepreneur. It was really fun to kind of look through all those different lenses. And I'm always super inspired by, keynote presentations. I love marketing. I love business. It really had more of a focus on kind of the, philosophies of good marketing. It really wasn't super in the weeds on how to use the tool that we were there, that we kind of thought maybe we'd learn a little bit more about. But it was more of an inspiring type conference, and I think that's exactly what we needed. So it was the perfect time, perfect place. Met some really cool people, and I think made some connections that we will probably benefit greatly from. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, I love Brendon Burchard. He was probably one of the first kind of online course creators that I took a course from. And I am an avid course taker. I love to learn. So on various diverse topics. And I bet it was 15 years ago that I took one of his courses. And it's kind of ironic that he builds his courses on the same platform that I build my courses now. And he's still doing it. And his, best practices are pretty darn simple. And so to find myself listening to him and kind of introducing you to his philosophies that I really, am committed to, was, like I said, it was just really good timing. So
yeah, it was.
Yeah. Okay. What else do we want to talk about?
Well, we blew through the introductions kind of. We probably didn't cover that much about ourselves. Did you say that we're obviously working together, but we're living under the same roof?
No, I didn't say that. So
yeah,
we
working and living under the same roof.
Yeah, our living
for the first time in a while.
Our living quarters is also a co-working space.
Yeah.
So that, we obviously, along with everybody else in the world, made that shift to working from home during COVID. And since then, we've had, there's been more opportunities to go back to the office for my husband specifically. And now my son works part-time from home and part-time from his office, but both kids have since graduated from college. They've both moved back home. Gracie now works for Self-Made You and obviously works from home alongside of me. My husband works part-time from home and my son works part-time from home. So yeah, it's gotten really interesting. The house has somehow gotten a little smaller. We're tripping over each other because we have 4 humans and 4 dogs all living from one space, but we're making it work. And
it sounds like a nut house, which I guess sometimes it is kind of a nut house, but it definitely is working a lot better than I thought it would. I mean, we all have a pretty good relationship, and so it's still easy to get frustrated with each other and to feel like everybody's on top of each other, but I think that it's I think it's going to work out just fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like there's been any major issues.
No, I have to bite my tongue a little bit with the stuff being left lying around the house. Gracie and Griffin have their own bathroom downstairs, but yet Gracie feels the need to share our bathroom with us and
I don't feel
leaves
that.
all her stuff lying around, which is a little annoying, but I have to just remind myself it's not the end of the world and we will figure this out.
Yeah,
We're becoming very patient.
It's a tiny bathroom downstairs, and my brother is not clean at all. At all. I shared a bathroom with 4 other girls at school, and nothing compares to the bathroom downstairs that my brother takes over. So I will be using my mom's bathroom from here on out until that is clean.
Okay. Anyways, what else?
How would you, for the people listening, how would you describe yourself?
Oh my gosh. I would describe myself as a work in progress. I think becoming for sure the person that I really want to be. And I would say it is an example of what is possible, but I don't mean that at all in an egotistical way. I mean that in a way that I, for a really long time, felt a little broken, a little, I think maybe disadvantaged is kind of the word that comes to mind. I had like struggles growing up. I'm like a product of divorced parents, and I struggled with my weight. As I got older, I struggled with over drinking. So those struggles became a big part of my identity. And so I have really worked on becoming the person that doesn't identify myself by those struggles and instead identify myself as, my gosh, if I can overcome this, anybody can overcome this. And I really want to share with people how to do that. And it really does have everything to do with how you think. And most people have not been taught about their brain and how by default you think in a very fear-based way. And so I started Self-Made You after being certified as a life coach and with this mission to really help people feel differently, because I do believe that there's a lot of unnecessary suffering. So how would I describe myself? I would I would describe myself, okay, that was very poetic, right? I would describe myself as like a lifelong learner first and foremost. Like I love to learn. Somebody who really loves to like inspire other people. That's probably what really gives me the most joy in life. I love being a mom. I love um I love to laugh. I would say between laughing and learning, those are kind of like my 2 big passions and like what make me happy.
Laughing is your passion.
Well, it makes me happy. Like it really kind of fills me up. So I don't know. I guess that's how I don't know. What are you looking for?
No, that's good.
You want me to give my height and weight and all those gory statistics?
No, that was great.
Okay, how would you describe yourself?
Oh, I was going to describe myself as very put together, not a work in progress. No, yeah, it is a hard question. You're right. I would describe myself as, I would say, a lifelong learner as well. I definitely didn't, like, my mom has always said that, and I definitely probably have never felt that way until I graduated college, or since I've been getting closer to graduating college. Um, I just, I, I was very focused as a student. I did really prioritized school, and I liked learning, but I only liked learning the things I liked to learn about. And so that was definitely something that when my mom would say, I'm a lifelong learner, I was like, ugh, I can't wait to be done learning. Like, it just was never something that clicked until I got closer to graduation and actually graduating. And now I just feel like, I mean, right now we're in such a, me coming on with the business, there's so much learning. Like, I wasn't taught probably half the things that I've learned in just this past week and a half in school. And so, yeah, I'm just blown away about the amount of things that I have learned in just this week and a half. And I'm excited now to be learning and to keep growing. And it's all in things that I really love and I enjoy learning about. So that's stayed the same, but I guess I just never, when she would say that, I would never think of it as, oh yeah, like I'm super excited to be a lifelong learner.
Well, I think lifelong learning for me is really learning more about yourself.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, that's why I created Self Made You, because the acronym we use is SELF to teach our concepts. And it truly is steeped in learning about yourself. So when I say lifelong learner, I am continuously, consistently learning about myself, which it just makes everything make sense to me, where I feel like I've lived a good majority of my life where things didn't make sense. I always felt so broken and I didn't know why. And now I can make sense of things. And so when I say lifelong learning, it's not like I'm learning quantum physics. I'm learning about myself. And that's super interesting to me, and being able to now turn around and put really simple frameworks to it to teach other people has been super rewarding. I think it's interesting because your major was marketing and psychology.
Yep.
And marketing has such a psychological spin on it. So you do learn about how humans think and how to influence them. And you do learn a lot about yourself through marketing. So it's not a surprise to me that you're finding, this world of entrepreneurship really fascinating and interesting, because your focus right now is on marketing. And so you learn a lot about other people and you learn a lot about yourself just literally through marketing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I feel like marketing is not my favorite. I actually came into college as a psychology major and super excited about it. I loved all of my psychology classes, loved them. Like, it was funny when I would go to class and like my roommates would be like, "Oh, that stinks. Like, you're off to class." And I'm like, "I love this class." But then my marketing classes, I hated my marketing classes unless they were heavily psych based. I did not like going to them. They weren't interesting to me. The math and stats and all of those things, that was not for me. And they're all incredibly important and things that are good to learn, especially when you're starting your own business and becoming an entrepreneur. Obviously, those are very important things to have under your belt. But for me, it was always my psych classes that I was so interested in. I just didn't feel like I wanted to be a therapist. And that was kind of a little bit of a limiting belief that if I stayed with psychology, that was going to be my only choice, was to become a therapist. And so as I got closer to graduating, people would ask me, what are you majoring in? Or what are you graduating with? And I was like, marketing, but psychology minor. I wish I stuck with psychology, but I chose marketing because I thought it'd be more broad. And I just think that that's something that it's so hard to know when you're in the thick of it. And I mean, for me, it didn't really matter because I knew I was going to come on and work for my mom. So it didn't really matter what major I ended up choosing at the end of the day, because they both were going to prove to be helpful for me and the business, and my learning and everything. So,
Yeah, I mean, psychology, we're kind of going down a rabbit hole, but
yeah, a
I
little
would
bit.
say psychology um, has learning psychology, human psychology has so many benefits. And ironically, when I worked at the advertising agency for almost 20 years, um, uh, other senior leaders and I concluded that most of us had psychology degrees. So it was really kind of interesting
Yeah.
um, how valuable it is. So I don't think it's true that, the only thing you can do with a psychology degree is go into therapy.
Right.
It really is kind of the way you choose to think about it. It is incredibly helpful. Now, marketing skills are also very helpful. Just like engineering skills are very
Right.
helpful depending on, what field you want to go into. So,
Mhm.
but understanding people and the way that their minds work is super helpful, I think, in probably 99% of the fields out there. So,
Mhm. Yeah,
but
no, I
yes.
would agree. Yeah.
Anything else that we should talk about? I feel like we
Um,
should wrap it up.
yeah. What can they expect from this podcast is probably a good thing to
Uh,
leave it off with.
um, I think you can expect to be sort of entertained, sort of inspired, sort of enlightened. I tend
Sort
to.
of, maybe. Maybe you'll get that out of this.
I think people will find it interesting. We'll definitely bring the weens into a few
Yeah.
of these episodes because they are as cute as could possibly be. But they have their own little attitudes, and right now they're tired because mine likes to eat, and he not only ate his breakfast, but he ate Meatball's breakfast, so now he's taking a nap. But
Yep.
yeah, I think come with an open mind and really maybe try to see yourself in some of the journeys come along, come alongside of us and open up your mind to some of the journeys that we have embarked on and become right alongside of us. I think it's really about that mindset of
Yeah.
becoming and that we really want to share what that looks like for people. And we're still figuring it out, but we're figuring it out with an open mind, open arms, and an invitation to anybody who wants to, come alongside of us.
Yep. Anyone that's bored and wants to listen to us chat for 30 minutes.
Yeah. So we will see you next time. We'll be here next week because
Yep,
we're going to be consistent about this.
we are. Yep, we will see you next week.
Bye bye.